knows how to work on your vehicle. And we're getting more and more complaints of frauds happening that way. Your backyard mechanic gets your vehicle, you might not see it again for a month, and in the meantime they're using it to transport drugs, to go around and do break and enters with it, haul off the stolen proceeds, or just simply not doing good repairs, or very much overcharging you for your repairs. Again, it's the good deal feeling. Well, if it's a backyard mechanic, I won't have to pay as much. Well, that's true, I guess, in some cases, but in the cases that it is, you will pay dearly. So, again, get a second opinion. I'm going to go back to the telephone frauds as well. Your social insurance number. It is only the government of Canada, in regards to, that has any need for that number. You should not give your social insurance number out to anyone else. And if they ask for it, just let them know, no, I'm not going to give that to you. What other form of identification would you like to have? There is no need for anyone to, for example, if you go to a store and seeking maybe a credit account, something like that, a charge account, there is absolutely no need for them to have your social insurance number. There is no need for any survey. Maybe someone was about doing a survey for them to have your social insurance number. That number is only for the government of Canada, and in particular in regards to taxation and actually sometimes pension benefits. It's the only time that you should have to give that number. Anyone else that's asking for it, they have no legal reason to have it. Yes?
Financial institutions for ratio P5.
For taxation, employment. But if it's not in regards to taxation, that number shouldn't be given out. Or pension. What happens is if they get your social insurance number, and we talked about identity theft, it's a very good start for them to build an identity using your name, your information, and doing all kinds of wild and wonderful things with it. And the problem with that is, even though afterwards, if they're caught and it's proven it was someone else that maybe did a whole complete credit card scam, bought and sold real estate under name, signed up for telephone accounts where you could have literally tens of thousands of dollars of debt in your name, even if it's proven afterwards that it was all a scam, there is no legal recourse to have the people that do the terms that are on my head, but for the credit checks that you can get done, for them to correct it. That can stay on your record even though it wasn't you that did it. I happen to know that because I went through that personally some number of years back. Someone used my name in Toronto to do a credit card thing. I've never been to Toronto in my life. But when I went to take a loan out to buy a vehicle, when they did the credit check, they said, oh, sorry, Constable, but you're not going to get that loan because you scammed whatever. What do you mean? So I went through 8 months, many phone calls, letters, so on and so forth, to finally clear my name. But even after all that, the credit bureau would not take that information off my record. And so then I spent 2 months on legal recourse to do so, and what I found out was that under the Financial Act and the Bank Act in Canada, they don't have to. Isn't that amazing? All the more reason to protect your own identity and not let the scammers and the crooks get a hold of it. So keep that in mind as well. If you have telephone calls coming in seeking to sell you something that you really are pretty suspicious about, but particularly something at a cost, what I talk about that is in this room I've received a total let's just say last year, that says that you go on a trip somewhere. Okay. Now, has any of you ever followed up with that at all to find out what this trip was? And that, that was quite interesting. It cost me several hundreds of dollars to take this trip. Well, I thought to myself, Gordon mentioned, if it's free, why am I paying for it? And see, that's the key. If it's free, if you want it, not a penny should be paid for it. Secondly, ask yourself, how did you win it in the first place? Did you ever? So I'll guarantee you that 99% of the telephone calls or letters that you'd get saying you won something that you haven't any knowledge of entering in, watch out. Watch out. They're after money. And the scary part is that, you know, as long as they provide you something for that money, we can't charge them criminally. So I'll give you an example of that, of the free car. You won a free Lincoln Continental Mark IV. All you need to do is spend $1,297 for taxes, plus another $970 for cost of shipping that vehicle to you. If you do that, we'll get it to you. If you do it, you may end up with a dinky toy of a Lincoln Mark IV Continental. So we can't charge them criminally from it, and what you're left with is try and sue them. I'll guarantee you you'll get nowhere with that. So my whole point is this. If you get an offer that is too good to be true, you better check it out, because it probably is too good to be true. And you're giving your money to someone that you probably don't want to. It goes on, it truly does. Now, having said all of that, I don't want you to leave here today feeling that we don't live in the community and the whole world is full of crime, etc. That's not the case at all. But because of our communications technology advances in the last even 10 years, it has made it easier, particularly for the scam artists, to operate in our society and to get at more of us to do their business with. So sometimes it seems pretty scary. It seems like we have a lot of crime going on. But I can tell you this. I worked here 20 years ago when I was at the detachment back then. And at that time, we had actually a little bit more crime in certain areas than we do today with the community that's almost 3 times its size. So what I can tell you today is that we still have it here, and it's pretty safe. But nonetheless, that doesn't mean that we should let our guard down. And it shouldn't be that we should be absolutely carefree about and where we give our money to. Because the crooks are after one thing, generally speaking, and that's cash. Want money, and they don't care how they get it. See, and that's the point, is that there's a reason for saying that they prey on people, because they do. They prey on your good well-being as good people of our community, and conscientiousness and wanting to help others. And unfortunately, that can be taken advantage of. But again, far be it from me to be saying that you shouldn't help people or care about the community and do things for it. You certainly should. I'm just saying be careful. Be aware of those things that are out there. And if you should be approached by someone that you believe might be trying to scam you, you can call the police. You can call perhaps some family members, friends that you trust. Buy them first. Check it out. That's all. Do you have any questions that maybe I might be able to answer one here? Yes.
I have the phone ID on my telephone thing, and if it comes in unknown number or 1-800 number, I don't bother answering those, and they never leave a message on the answering service.
Could be a wise thing.
Last 2 weeks, a week ago, I got a letter from Kansas City, Kansas, and yesterday I got another one, and $1 million if I get 15.
Exactly. By the way, how many of you have ever received a telephone call saying, please donate to RCMP cause, this or that? RCMP, we do not solicitate any funds for any reason whatsoever by telephone at all. In fact, we're not allowed to solicit for funds for any reason, by telephone, by mail, so on and so forth. That's not on behalf of the RCMP. Yes.
I received a phone call last evening. It was